This game is actually very true to the Fireteam Bravo series. It's the third-person shooter, more of an action game. We're staying really true to the base concept, the base controls, although we've done a little bit of upgrade here, try to make it really accessible for users, but also kept the sort of inherent complexity and the power that gives the player for the hardcore SOCOM fans. And then also added the element of stealthy gameplay if you want to be in there. The environments are pretty wide open for you to path your way through the way that you want to and solve some puzzles in there. So it should give people a really good experience, but still feel like a Fireteam Bravo game. With this game, we wanted to really focus on the SEALs as kind of characters. So as opposed to the sort of former SOCOM games where you had the voice in the sky, the HQ, guiding the mission, telling you what to do, in this case, we're really getting down and dirty into the trenches with the SEALs. They're called into a conflict where all they really know is that there's some terrorist threat that involves probably some sort of weapons of mass destruction, and then they're dropped into a Baltic state to try and figure out what's going on and apprehend a former KGB agent to see if they can gain any leads. So from there on in, the story progresses without the SEALs knowing very much, and as the player goes through the story, we really discover it through our cinematic content and through the levels. In Fireteam Bravo 1 and 2, you had one AI SEAL that would follow you around and take commands. So we decided to go in with the full fire team for the SEALs. A four-man squad here was a little bit more powerful and experience. So you can do great things with these guys. They will follow you around as a gun on your shoulder if you want, or you can command these SEALs to kill targets for you, to breach doors, to throw grenades at enemies, and you can actually queue up all those commands as well. So you can set up a scenario where you're just going to take out all the enemies in front of you in the first few shots if you want to do that. Generally with the gameplay, I think the cinematic content is something that we really were interested in pushing for this. So we're going through the process of capturing motion capture, and we use a lot of retired SEALs to do that, to really get the authentic feel on the ground with the SEALs. They're going to be in gameplay, run by the gameplay engine, so that they should stay really immersive while you're in them. They're fairly short sequences, so they give you information about the level, and that's how the player's really going to discover the story until you finally get to the end, which is a great, lots of interesting new mechanics that we haven't necessarily seen in Fireteam Bravo, just to round out the gameplay for you. As you play through the campaign, you'll unlock the different levels, and once you have finished a level, it will unlock the ability for you to create custom missions within that environment. So you'll be able to select stuff like intel objectives or a demolition objective, and then we'll spawn those in the world for you. You can select enemy densities and basically vary the level of difficulty with the whole thing. And as you go through, the more difficult you make your custom missions, the more command equity points, which is the currency for the game, the more you'll gain, the more difficult the missions are, and you can go back and then unlock weapons. So if you're stuck and you want that brand new weapon that isn't unlocked in the armory yet, you play some custom missions, and then you can move back into the main campaign flow. We have lots of cool weapons. There's actually pushing 70 different weapons in this game, so they're too numerous to mention. I think the key thing to mention about weapons, though, is the customization system for the weapons. Like the previous SOCOM games, you can add attachments to your weapons. We added a fourth attachment slot for this game, so you can do scopes, and you can do underbarrel grenade launchers, and you can do suppressors, and you can do weapon lasers on the barrel. Well, we're doing single player as one of the main focuses for sure. So you can play through the campaign, and 9 missions in fact, actually, with a tutorial. And definitely that's the core of the story content. We do have a bunch of multiplayer stuff. We're sort of following in the footsteps of Fireteam Bravo 2 to do that as well, but we're also adding some extra cool stuff which we're talking about a little bit later, so I can't give you all the info on that right now, but definitely it's going to be a very strong multiplayer presence. And we're looking forward to having it out sometime before Christmas this year, 2009.